Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, my name is Nicole, and today we're going to be making chicken Parmesan meatballs in polenta. Now this is something that I saw Michael Simon doing on an outdoor kitchen on one of his cooking shows. Apparently in 2020, when everything shut down, he took over the Food Network Facebook page and started cooking every night, and I guess millions of people were cooking right along with him. Well, now he has his own show on Food Network called Simon Dinner's Out, I believe. And most everything has been cooked outside on Weber grills. So I decided, hey, maybe we should try this. And I mentioned to my husband, hey, we should buy a Weber grill because my husband loves grills and he has this whole outdoor kitchen. And he said, my Kamado will do everything that Weber grill will. So I said, okay, get it set up because this is what we're having for dinner. So let's get cooking.
So the first thing you want to do is probably go to the store and buy ground chicken. I did not have ground chicken, but I do have a meat grinder. So we just decided to use some of the chicken breast that I already had in the refrigerator and grind our own chicken breast. My husband loves it, any chance to use his meat grinder that he has. The other thing was I did not have any onions. My onions went bad when I pulled them out to use them. So we decided to use shallots because I needed to use my shallots. Now, the one thing that Michael Simon did differently was he did not grind his chicken with his shallots, but we decided to go ahead and just grind the shallots right in with the meat. That way we got the juices and everything from the onion to flavor the meat. So to your ground chicken, this is where you want to add ricotta. Now please tell me I am not the only one who has trouble opening the ricotta. I even grabbed the little tab just fell off, so I got the knife out and cut the ricotta open. Some Parmesan breadcrumbs. He said you can use panko or just regular breadcrumbs. He said to stay away from the seasoned breadcrumbs. I actually have both sets of breadcrumbs in my pantry, so we used the plain breadcrumbs. This is also where you would add your parsley. All I had was dried parsley. I didn't have any fresh, so I just kind of cut back a little bit because dried herbs tend to be a little more potent. Fresh nutmeg, which I actually did have. Some garlic. We were supposed to grate the garlic. I was going to use my garlic press, but then decided to grate it anyway. And finally add an egg, and this is also where you would add your onion had I not used my shallots earlier. Don't forget to season with salt and pepper, and it's supposed to be a pinch of salt. Have you ever noticed how on Food Network, the pinch of salt that all those chefs use is way more than what the rest of us use? Anyway, it's something I've always kind of noted. Finally, you want to mix all of this together. Don't over mix it, and sometimes the best thing to use to mix is your hands. Now you want to portion your meat mixture into 8 even pieces. One of the things that Rachel Ray always said to do was just kind of pat it into the bowl and then score it with your hands. And I've always had fairly good luck with that. Now Michael Simon uses a Weber grill and all we have is a Kamado. My husband went out and got the Kamado ready for me and we put the pan on so that it was already hot. Then all we had to do was add our extra virgin olive oil and add our meatballs to start cooking them and searing them off. Spend a couple minutes on each side just letting it go ahead and get that nice crusty caramelization on it, and that adds so much great flavor to the meatballs. One thing about this setup is the flame is on the back side of the Kamado, and on the front side it's indirect heat, so that's why you see the pan and the meatballs kind of moving around. Our cast iron there is a 17-inch, so obviously there's not a lot of extra room, but you move it around to move the meatballs onto and off of the direct heat. It's time to make the sauce for the meatballs. We're going to add some garlic, oregano, and onion and let that saute up for a couple of minutes. Then we're going to add our tomato puree and a half a can of water, and then we're going to kind of move the meatballs in and out of the sauce. Make sure that you season the sauce with salt and pepper. At this point, you probably want to put the lid down and go ahead and let the meatballs continue to cook. They probably have another 10 to 15, 20 minutes left to be fully cooked, and you want your sauce to reduce. You're gonna pull out your fresh mozzarella and top each meatball with fresh mozzarella basil leaf. Now you notice I left one empty. That's because my daughter has something against the color green when she eats. Meanwhile, you need to have your polenta cooking. It takes 30 minutes to cook polenta. So you're gonna add 4.5 cups of water, a tablespoon of salt, and some olive oil to a sauce pot and bring it to high heat.
I will be here for the next 30 minutes. See you later.
See you later, bye.
At this point, you're going to add in your polenta and you're going to stand there for about 30 to 40 minutes while it cooks and fully hydrates. It's not quite as finicky as risotto, but you do need to stand there and constantly be stirring it. The longer you let it sit on the heat, the more of the water that'll cook out and the firmer and creamier it becomes. Then you want to pull it off the heat and add your butter. As you can see, it was hot enough outside, my butter melted. You also want to add your Parmesan cheese. That day I went the easy route by using the stuff out of the package because that's what I had. Sometimes you just have to do what you have to do. Decided to plate mine like Michael Simon did, so I got a big platter and poured all of my polenta onto the platter. Then I started putting the meatballs off onto the polenta, followed by the sauce because you don't want to forget that yummy sauce. And that's dinner. So Michael Simon, how many heads do you get? 10. We give you a 10 out of 10 on this dish. Yum.